Hello, and welcome to Intuitive Insights, where I share universal messages from readings that were specific to a specific person. But I share the universal message here with you so that you can use it specifically for you. I'm your host, Meghan, and here's this week's message. A rolling stone gathers no moss. This image came from a reading. It is a heart with moss growing on the bottom, but at the top butterflies are flying out. To me, this image represents transformation, growth, love, and expression. And what happens when we share our growth instead of keeping it to ourselves? This week's message: be courageous. Share. This image came to me this week, and it seems to be in line with the message from last week: don't hide. As an artist or a creative person, I never understood why people would create anything and then just keep it to themselves. Even if it wasn't perfect. Yes, I do and did and do still have a perfectionism complex, which I keep attempting to shed, if you tech-savvy folk haven't already noticed. But the point is, okay, well, there's lots of points. The joy of growth, or the joy of the journey, is much more important than the destination, as well as the joy that comes from and through creation. Growth and love is meant to be shared and expressed. Quote, "The first law of thermodynamics states that the energy of a closed system must remain constant. It can neither increase nor decrease without interference from the outside. The universe itself is a closed system, so the total amount of energy in existence has always been the same. The forms that energy takes, however, are constantly changing." Clara Moskowitz, Scientific American Senior Editor. In layman's terms, energy cannot be created or destroyed. It is always in motion. In order to flow properly, the energy has to have an entry point and an exit point. If it doesn't, it just ruminates. It doesn't go away. So when we're gifted with the energy of creation, growth, love, joy, and art, and we don't share it, the energy starts to morph and change into something else. It doesn't go away, it just transmutes. It isn't just enough to give, you need to be able to receive as well. And if you receive growth, love, joy, inspiration, creativity, and you don't send it back out to others and keep the buoyancy of that energy continuous, it loses its life. The energy becomes dull and the vibration shifts. I've never been able to take a compliment. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because it made me feel embarrassed or highlighted my insecurities, possibly. But as I've aged, now I'm not saying it's gotten easier because it has not, but I have realized that in order to balance my energy and keep the flow of it going and stay in connection with the universe, when I receive the gift of positive energy or energy, there must be an entry and an exit point. Allow the compliment to flow through you and send that beautiful energy back to someone else. A compliment is the best gift you can give, and it costs nothing. When energy or gifts are given, they need to be recognized and accepted. What you do with them is up to you. So do you give them away? Do you transmute them and share them? Do you hang on to them? What do you do when a gift is given to you? I recently taught a group of high schoolers yoga. It was the most challenging experience of my life so far as yoga teaching. I mean, a beautiful challenge. It was about 160 of the best teachers I've ever had in my life. They did not want to do yoga. They did not care about me or what I had to say. They just didn't want to be there. And one day I realized I was not showing up the way I wanted to. I was frustrated by the situation and the lack of interest, and in my observation, the absolute disregard or respect for themselves, me, authority, the class, what have you. So as a peace offering, I decided to bring them a gift for Valentine's Day. Pencils that I bought with my own money, with motivational sayings on them. To me, yoga has always been about the mind. Atha Yoga Nushasanam. Now the discipline yoga. Yoga Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Yoga is the cessation of the modifications of the mind. Patanjali Yoga Sutras number 1 and 2. Yoga is a discipline of the mind and how to bring the mind to balance. I've noticed that as kids get older, from pre-K to grade school and to high school, yoga practice becomes less about the physical posture and more about the power of the mind. So recognizing this, I decided to give these high schoolers empowerment or motivational pencils. Everyone can use a pencil, right? I gave these pencils to these kids as a peace offering, even if they didn't participate, even if they were disruptive, even if they were extraordinarily rude. Everyone got a pencil. Some of them refused a pencil, and I remember saying, "It's a gift, take it, receive it. What you do with it is up to you, but when someone gives you a gift, take it." I actually also remember that it wasn't until the second class of 80 students per class, it wasn't until I was about 2/3 done with the second class that I heard a thank you. And I didn't even notice that no one had said thank you prior. But I finally got a thank you. And then a few more trickled in after that. Not everybody, but a few. So as the class went on and was finished, we were cleaning up. Another teacher and I found a whole bunch of broken and discarded pencils left on the ground. It broke my heart. It broke the other teacher's heart. She was very kind and said, I know it was very lovely of you to do this and to be so vulnerable with them and offer this as a peace offering and to give them these pencils, and they just don't care. And I said, well, they did what I told them to do. They accepted it and they did what they wanted with it. I mean, I know it's slightly depressing to think of that, but it actually was a turning point in the class. And they heard me. There's a saying, how you do one thing is how you do everything. When I first heard this, I was like, that's not true. And then I started to notice how incredibly true it actually was in my life. I mean, it doesn't mean that you can't change how you do everything. It just makes you notice. So what this image brings up to me today and wants me to offer to you today is this. Do you recognize gifts when you receive them? What are some gifts you received today? What do you do with them? Do you allow yourself to be a vessel for energy to flow to and from you equally? Do you equally give and receive? Do you focus on joy in the journey? Or do you focus on the product or the end result or the destination? Do you allow yourself to be vulnerable enough to share your joy, your creativity, your art, all the things that are most precious to you? That vulnerability is the access point to deep connection. Allow the gift of energy to flow through you, transform, and allow the butterflies to be released from your heart. Don't hold on to the things most precious in your heart and let them gather moss. Share your energy. The world needs it. Big buckets of energetic love. That is this week's message. For more journal prompts, meditations, weekly action steps, and to read along with this podcast, blogcast, you can get on my email list at info@magnetizeyourlight.com, or just reach out on magnetizeyourlight.com and you can find me there. I've mentioned this the last few weeks, but I'm going to say it again. Starting April 30th, 2023, I'm starting a virtual women's workshop. It's an accompanying workshop to my workbook, Magnetize Your Light. It's a coloring book, workbook, journal that takes you on a journey within. The two things that I felt were missing from the workbook were accountability and connection. And this workshop, Ignite Your Life, will really pull those two things together. Each week, we're going to explore a breathing technique, a meditation, a weekly action step where we incorporate the things that we've been talking about, experiencing, and learning in our everyday lives, pepper it in. Passing the torch of empowerment is what I like to call this fun activity where we lift someone up each week as someone else lifts us up. So we open up both sides of the energy channel for ourselves to be in connection with others, the universe, and ourselves. If you're interested or curious, you can find information at magnetizeyourlight.com underneath the Empowerment Courses tab. I'm very excited about this, and I really hope you can join us. It's every Sunday for 6 weeks, 7 to 8:30 Central Time. So spread the love, bring a friend, ask questions, and come join us. I'd love to have you. All right. That's it for this week. Keep sending love. Keep receiving love. Keep yourself open and in flow. Have a great week. Talk to you soon.